Discover the advantage of unlimited access to all the stories and resources from IBJ and Inside Indiana Business. From insights to inspiration, business leaders rely on the IBJ for all things Indiana business. Start your $1 a week trial now at ibj.com/trial offer.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand for Friday, March 27th. 2026. I'm Gary Dick. In 2020, downtown Attica was named one of Indiana Landmark's 10 most endangered sites, highlighting both its historical significance and its deteriorating condition. Since then, 7 historic buildings have been demolished, part of a broader effort to address safety concerns, preserve what remains of the historic district, and attract new growth, says Attica Mayor Larry Grant.
We did have engineering studies done, and it was in the millions just to stabilize them. You're not going to find people to put good money after bad, if you will. You know, if you're trying to get a developer in, it's a lot easier to look at a nice big open area and say, what can I do with this, rather than look at a bunch of old buildings that are falling down.
Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott says if the Chicago Bears choose to build a new stadium in Northwest Indiana, the project would not result in any residents being displaced. Speaking at a Michigan City Economic Development Corporation event, the mayor noted, however, that a small number of businesses could potentially be displaced. An analysis released this week by the Indiana Business Research Center shows Indiana added nearly 39,000 residents last year, bringing the state's total population to 6.79 million. The IBRC says since 2023, the state has seen an average annual growth of nearly 44,000 residents per year, the largest 3-year increase since the mid-2000s. Net domestic migration to Indiana more than doubled last year, with a total of more than 12,000 new residents. From the state's #1 source for Indiana business news, you're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio. Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from Northwest Indiana, Jeffersonville, Muncie, South Bend, in downtown Evansville, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, Richmond, from one of the state's key entrepreneurial and innovation hubs, 16 Tech. Inside Indiana Business, Indiana's business news leader. Ball State University's student-led newspaper will soon be ending its weekly print edition and transitioning to a digital-first newsroom.
The editorial board of the Ball State Daily News said Thursday that the decision was made in response to financial realities. In a post on the newspaper's website, the board said the weekly print paper costs more than $25,000 annually to produce and generates very little advertising revenue. It also noted that most of the 5,000 copies printed each week remain in racks by the next print cycle. The board emphasized that the decision to move away from weekly print publication was not an issue of censorship and was made following multiple conversations with university staff and Daily News leadership. The editorial board unanimously approved the move, with no university staff or administrative representatives present during the vote. Switching to a digital-first model, the board said, will open the door for more multimedia storytelling and better reflects the type of newsrooms today's journalism students will enter after they graduate. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
A Bitcoin insurance provider, a maker of humanoid robots, and a biomass refinery are among the companies participating in the next round of Purdue University's Startup Accelerator program. The first round of the Purdue Innovates Accelerator launched last March. Over the course of 3 months, 5 startups with ties to Purdue received guidance from mentors, corporate partners, investors, and alumni on how to refine their business model and scale their company. You can see the complete list at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
Hi, I'm Dave Neff, host of Talent Scout. On this show, we shine a light on Indiana's next generation of leaders who are making a difference in business, community, and civic life. These are real conversations about purpose, mentorship, and building a future that matters. Join me as we invest in leadership that lasts. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast app or listen at ibjpodcasts.com.
Your commute just got smarter. Turn drive time into growth time. The IBJ Media Podcast Network gives you front row access to leaders shaping Indiana's economy, culture, and future. No filler, just smart, relevant, local storytelling you won't get anywhere else. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcasts.com.